Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. You have very beautiful lips, I said, and the alien woman suddenly kissed me. The space station hung in the void of the galaxy like a sparkling jewel. Inside, everything was strange and unfamiliar to Alex. Lights pulsed softly along the corridors, alien voices echoed in a language he didn't understand, and creatures of all shapes and sizes moved with elegance and purpose. He had always imagined space travel as exciting, but now, standing alone in this massive station, excitement mixed with a nervous dread. Alex had been chosen for a special assignment, a human representative among alien civilizations. Humans were rare here, whispered about as fragile yet unpredictable. No alien could truly understand them. And that unpredictability was what some aliens feared. He wandered down a narrow corridor, clutching his communication device. His mind was focused on the briefing he had received. Observe, report, and above all, do not draw attention. But attention had a way of finding him, and he was about to discover that in a very unexpected way. He noticed her before he meant to, the alien woman. She moved through the station like a living shadow, graceful yet commanding, every movement precise. Her skin shimmered faintly under the lights, her hair flowing like liquid silver, and her eyes were a color Alex didn't even have a name for. They seemed to pierce through his mind, reading him, judging him. He had heard stories about Lyra, the station's enigmatic figure. No human had ever been close to her, and very few aliens approached her willingly. For some reason, he felt drawn to her. Something about her presence made the air seem thicker, heavier, like he was suddenly standing on a precipice. He told himself to focus. He had a task to do. He needed to deliver a report to the station council, and Lyra was apparently part of the audience. But as he approached, his nerves betrayed him. His heart raced, palms sweaty inside his gloves. He had never been this close to anyone like her before. And then it happened. As he passed her, his words slipped out almost before he could think. "You have very beautiful lips." The moment the words left his mouth, time seemed to slow. Lyra froze. Her eyes widened, not in anger, not in surprise, but in something else, something he couldn't identify. Then, before he could react, she leaned forward and pressed her lips to his. Shock tore through him. His mind screamed at him to pull away, to say something, anything, but the kiss was not what he expected. It was gentle, yet electric. Warm, yet alien. His whole body felt like it was buzzing, and he could hear his own heartbeat thundering in his ears. Other aliens nearby noticed, but their reactions were strange. Some recoiled, some whispered urgently to each other, and one even looked afraid. Alex had no idea what was happening, and neither did he know how to respond. Lyra pulled back slightly, just enough to let her face hover above his. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper, yet it carried across the corridor. You are different," she said. "I have never felt anyone like this before." Alex blinked. I didn't mean to," she interrupted him with another soft kiss, shorter this time, like a question, a test. And then she stepped back, her expression unreadable. The moment passed, but the feeling it left lingered, heavy and confusing. He wanted to understand. He wanted to ask why. But before he could, she turned and walked away, her long strides leaving him frozen in place. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Every time he thought about her, every time he tried to focus on his work, he felt the memory of her lips on his, the strange electricity between them, and the unspoken words that hung in the air. It wasn't until evening that things took a darker turn. Alex was reviewing his report in a quiet observation room when a strange signal appeared on his communicator, a warning in alien symbols. He didn't understand the language fully, but the urgency was clear. He didn't have time to translate. He ran toward the source of the signal, the corridors now feeling oppressive and alien. The station seemed to twist around him, corridors looping in ways that made no sense. Shadows moved just beyond his sight, and whispers echoed from nowhere. And then he found her. Lyra was in a hidden chamber, glowing faintly under a soft, blue light. Her posture was tense, her usual calm replaced by an edge of fear. When she saw him, she didn't speak at first. Instead, she held out her hand, a silent plea. "They are coming," she whispered finally, her voice trembling slightly. "My people, they want to erase me." Alex felt a chill. "Erase you?" he asked. "Why?" She shook her head. "Because I trust humans. They cannot allow that." For a moment, the room was silent except for the soft hum of the station's energy. Then, the air changed. A ripple of light moved across the chamber walls, and Alex realized they were not alone. Alien enforcers, sleek and dangerous looking, were approaching. Lyra grabbed his arm. "You have to help me," she said urgently. "No one else can. Only you." Alex swallowed hard. He was just a human. Ordinary, fragile compared to the beings around him. But the way her eyes looked at him, trusting, pleading, something stirred inside him. He felt a strength he didn't know he had. Something unique. Something humans had, perhaps. The enforcers entered the chamber. Their weapons glint. Ted, their intentions clear. Lyra stepped in front of him, shielding him, but she didn't fight. She looked to him, and then she did something Alex would never forget. She kissed him again, briefly, a spark of energy passing from her to him. It was like a silent message. "You are my ally. You are my hope." Alex felt it. A surge of courage, clarity, and determination. He understood now. This was not just about saving her, it was about showing these aliens that humans were not to be underestimated. "We have to move," he said, finally finding his voice. His words were steady, firm. "Show me the way." She nodded, and together they slipped into the shadows of the station. Every turn they took, every corridor they passed, was filled with tension. They could be discovered at any moment, and if they were, he didn't want to think about it. As they ran, Lyra whispered more about herself, about her people, her fear, and the rules that bound her. She revealed that her family had power beyond imagination, but it came with chains. Chains that she wanted to break, with his help. Alex listened, absorbing every word. He realized something incredible. Humans had been underestimated in this galaxy, seen as weak and insignificant. But here he was, alone and unarmed, standing beside one of the most powerful aliens in the station. And yet, somehow, his unpredictability, the thing they feared, gave them an edge. Finally, they reached a secure chamber, hidden from the station's main surveillance. Lyra collapsed onto a bench, exhausted. Alex sat beside her, still trying to comprehend everything that had happened. She looked at him, a faint smile breaking through her tension. "You are unlike any human I have ever met," she said softly. "I don't know why I trust you, but I do." Alex felt a strange warmth at her words. He wanted to say something clever, something reassuring, but he only managed a nervous chuckle. "Guess humans are full of surprises," he said. Lyra's eyes twinkled, and she leaned closer, brushing her hand against his. "Yes," she whispered, "and that is what might save me." Outside, the station continued its ceaseless activity, oblivious to the drama unfolding in the hidden chamber. But inside, a bond was forming, a bond between a human and an alien, between the unexpected and the extraordinary. And though Alex didn't know it yet, this was only the beginning. The kiss, the danger, the trust, it was all a prelude to something much larger, something that would challenge the galaxy's very understanding of humans. He had stepped into the unknown, and there was no turning back. To be continued. The hidden chamber was quiet now, save for the soft hum of the space station systems. Alex sat beside Lyra, trying to make sense of everything. Her confession weighed heavily on him. Her own people wanted to eliminate her because she trusted humans. He had always known humans were underestimated in the galaxy, but this was on another level entirely. Lyra turned to him, her face serious. "Alex, you need to understand. If my family finds me here, we won't just be caught, we will be destroyed. Not just me, they will see you as the human who interfered. Humans are fragile, but perhaps they are also dangerous in ways they do not expect." Alex swallowed hard. "Then we need a plan. There has to be a way to get you out safely." She nodded, relief flashing briefly in her eyes. But before they could move, the walls of the chamber glowed. The alien enforcers had traced their energy signatures. Shadows elongated, and a low hum of power filled the room. The enforcers were close, very close. Alex's heart raced, but he felt a strange confidence. Something in him had awakened after the kiss, a courage he didn't know he possessed. Humans were unpredictable, yes, and perhaps that unpredictability was what could save them now. Lyra grabbed his hand, squeezing it tightly. "Follow me, quick, and trust yourself." They slipped through a hidden maintenance hatch, entering a series of narrow service tunnels that twisted beneath the station. The air was cooler here, metallic and sharp, and every echo of their footsteps sounded like a warning. "How do you know this place?" Alex asked. "I've memorized it," Lyra replied. "My family believes no one can navigate these tunnels but them. They won't expect us here." As they moved, they passed alien security drones, their glowing eyes scanning. Alex felt a pang of fear, but Lyra whispered, "Watch their patterns. They are predictable. We are not." He understood immediately. Humans were not strong like aliens, nor were they heavily armed, but humans were clever, resourceful, and creative. He ducked behind a pipe as a drone passed, then dropped a small metallic panel from above, confusing its sensors. It paused, recalculated, and then continued, too late to notice them slipping away. Lyra looked at him with awe. "Humans, really are different," she whispered. They finally emerged into a wider corridor. Light streamed through a tall window, revealing the stars outside. Alex felt a rush of hope. They were close to the station's outer exit. But the station council's enforcers were waiting at the next checkpoint, and he could see them through the corridor. "This is it," Lyra said softly. "I don't know if we can fight them all." Alex shook his head. "We don't have to. Let's make them underestimate us." Lyra tilted her head, curious. "Explain." "Humans are unpredictable," Alex said. "We think differently. Watch." He picked up a discarded energy conduit and waved it near the floor. Sparks flew, illuminating the walls. The enforcers saw the sparks and paused, unsure of what it was. Alex and Lyra darted forward, weaving through shadows, creating chaos with their presence. The enforcers fired, but the humans' improvisation made them miss. Every step they took, every move Alex made, the aliens were confused, thrown off balance. Lyra mirrored him, using her own alien abilities in combination with his unpredictability. Together, they were unstoppable. The corridor that had seemed impossible to cross became their path to freedom. Finally, they reached the airlock. The outer doors to the station. Alex could see the void beyond, the stars glittering like diamonds. They were free, or so he thought. From behind, a booming voice echoed through the corridor. "Stop them." It was the Council Enforcer Commander. A powerful alien, taller than any Alex had ever seen, with glowing armor and weapons that hummed with energy. He stepped into the corridor, blocking their path. Alex froze. Lyra's hand tightened on his. "Go," she urged. "I'll hold him for a moment." He shook his head. "No, we do this together." The alien lunged, moving faster than Alex expected. But he reacted instinctively. Humans were not strong, yes, but they could think, adapt, and survive. Using the corridor's angles, Alex dodged, tricked, and led the alien into a trap he had noticed earlier, a maintenance door. The alien crashed into it with a roar of frustration. Lyra used the moment, unleashing a surge of alien energy that had been restrained by her people all her life. The enforcer stumbled back, stunned, giving him the final few steps to reach the airlock. Alex pressed the activation panel. The doors opened, revealing a small escape pod outside the station. They ran inside, slamming the hatch. Alarms blared behind them. Lyra leaned against him, catching her breath. "You saved me," she said, disbelief and gratitude mixing in her voice. "A human saved me." Alex smiled, exhausted but triumphant. "We saved each other," he said. The pod shot away from the station, gliding silently through the stars. For the first time, Alex felt the weight of the galaxy in a new way. Humans were small in the universe, yes, but their courage, their cleverness, their unpredictability, it mattered. It mattered more than any alien could imagine. Lyra turned to him, eyes shining. "I never thought I'd trust anyone like this," she said softly. She leaned closer, pressing her lips to his once more. This kiss was different. No longer shocking, no longer a mystery. It was gratitude, trust, and a bond forming between them that neither fully understood yet. Alex laughed softly. "I think humans are full of surprises," he said again. "And perhaps," Lyra said, her hand resting on his, "that is what might see." Hangar the galaxy. As the escape pod moved further from the station, Alex realized this was only the beginning. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long. And now, standing beside Lyra, he knew one thing for certain. Humans were not just survivors. They were something else entirely. Something remarkable. Somewhere out there, the alien council would be watching, whispering, and wondering, how had a human managed what their strongest enforcers could not? Alex looked at Lyra, the stars reflected in her eyes, and for the first time, he felt a sense of purpose beyond fear, beyond survival. "Lyra," he said, softly. "Yes, Alex. Whatever comes next, we face it together." She nodded. Together, and as the pod disappeared into the endless expanse of space, it carried more than two fugitives. It carried hope, defiance, and the quiet but undeniable truth. Humans, small as they seemed, could change the galaxy. The stars stretched infinitely around them, a silent audience to the start of something new. And in the heart of that infinite dark, a human and an alien woman, bound by trust, courage, and something more, prepared to challenge the universe itself. The end.